my next question is about um, the 40 Blocks project.
Uh,
What did it encompass?
okay, so all right, so our 40 blocks in a movement or network of neighbors is, so we basically decided that we theorized that communities that are more communicating, meaning obviously they have some conversation with one another.
Mm-hmm.
Those that are more caring, meaning we're talking about, when you talk about caring for your block, that means just going back to that emotional intelligence piece, right? Like understanding, being aware of your neighbors and what they may be going through at the time, and even the climate, right? The vibe of your block, the cleanliness, things like that,
Right.
and connected. Again, just having, being able to lean on one another in times of uncertainty or even in times of need. Not going back to where you hey man, you got butter or sugar, but going even
Mhm.
further to say, hey, do you know somebody that can help me with my gutters? Can you help me with my gutters?
Right, 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 right.
And so we hypothesized that neighborhoods that are more connected, communicating, and caring are also more safe. And so because we deal with our three pillars, right? Education,
Mm-hmm.
safety, public safety, and community development, block club development, it fit with this idea of, okay, well, let's just again combine old school and new school. We go door to door during direct issue organizing, but me,
Mm-hmm.
DeAndre, I'll create a survey because in my
I got
field,
you.
we create surveys to figure out exactly what the issue is, and then we create solution based off finding that it what the exact
Mhm.
issue is. And so basically we determined that, again, that was our theory that we determined: communicating, connected, and caring. We devised a survey that would illustrate those pieces, but then we also added a little bit of engagement data where we was like, okay, well, what are some of your concerns, right, in terms of top six, right? So our
Mhm.
community, the top six issues in our community are safety, education, economics, food, healthcare, and housing. And so we
Oh.
wanted to determine, how does this 40 block radius feel about those key issues? And then we also wanted to determine, okay, well, what's the number one key issue out of those six for you? Right. So that is a part of our survey as well. And then you just have a piece of our survey in terms of, what do you think is the biggest, what do you think is the biggest issue of the block, and how do you think the block needs to be improved? And so that composes, outside of a few demographic questions, that composes our survey. So we go door to door and we ask neighbors how they feel about those issues that we laid out on our survey.
Mhm.
And so
Mhm.
at the end of it, I'll synthesize the data, I'll construct how people think and feel about the community, but also we'll have some of those key issues and indicators of an overall problem, but it also gives placement to the problem so that as a group, these individuals can figure out, okay, if safety is number one issue, which it is, how as a
Mhm.
community can we solve the issue of safety that doesn't involve the police, right? So now we're creating
Right.
this empowerment. So the whole goal when we talk network of neighbors is to go through, find, number one, block by block, find a leader, somebody that wishes to assume that responsibility of getting the rest of the block involved, but also becoming that key person that could
Uh-huh.
that could give out information, that could keep neighbors abreast of what's going on, and have them connect with other block members. So, for example, if
Mm.
something happens on the 1500 block of Parkside, and people want to know on the 1300 block of Massasoit, then those two leaders are connected. They can say, man, this shooting occurred such and such. And if people want to know what's going on down that way, then they have access to know because the leader knows and he'll disperse the information or she will disperse the information. And so basically that's the whole gist of it. It's trying to figure out how do we build our neighborhood so that we
Mm-hmm.
can one build leadership throughout our community so that now we can get our community more connected, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we can get them and we can figure out how to facilitate growth amongst the blocks in our community, and
Okay.
then we can figure out how to get them together to solve some of the more prevalent issues in the community.